Welcome to the 2024 Sims 4 DLC survey. I asked you guys to rate every single pack in the game, all the way up until Life and Death. That one's not in this year. And today we're going to go through those results and see how you guys rated stuff. If you're interested in picking up any of the packs, use code JAMES on the EA app or thesims.com. And at the time of this video being live, you'll actually get a 5% discount when you use that code. Except not on kits. You can also use any other creator's code as well, so if you don't want to use mine, that's fine. But right now they're running a 5% discount using any creator's code, so that's pretty cool. This video is not sponsored or influenced in any way by EA. They didn't have any input on this video, just so we're clear. But when you do use a creator's code, we do get a commission from every sale. So if you use the code, you're directly supporting me or any other creator that you've chosen to support, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much, and thank you so much to EA for making that possible. Now let's get back to the video. Without any further ado, let's start right off to see where you guys are actually playing the game. So first up at 1.11% Xbox Series consoles, then at 1.77% PS5. Then we have Xbox One, followed by PS4. Before we look at the next two, which, it's gonna be hard to guess which is which, I should note everything in this survey, you guys, my audience took this survey. And my audience may be different from the overall consensus of players in The Sims 4. So it's very possible that outside of my audience, these numbers are totally different, not just where you play, but all the other upcoming ratings and all that. So this is rated by you, my audience, and this is where you are playing. So next up, we've got, 12.2% on Mac. Actually, I did check all these results like a few weeks back, and I think it used to be around 10 or 11%, so it's gone up a little bit since I last checked. And at 80.98%, most people playing on PC. Now, next up, this one's kind of interesting. I asked you guys where you felt most knowledgeable or you enjoyed the most in The Sims 4 from Creative Sim, Build Mode, and Live Mode. You could select one or all three or two. So now we get to see the breakdown of where all of you feel more confident in The Sims 4. Now, this might look confusing at first glance, but I'll walk you through it. The green circle is Creator Sim, orange is Build Mode, and blue is Live Mode, all right? And then as they overlap, that is where you've selected one or multiple choices. So people that selected all three categories that you felt like you kind of knew everything about the game, you were enjoying everything about the game, is 24.82%. That's what that number is there. And then, for example, the crossover between Creator Sim and Build Mode is only 7.54% of people selected specifically those two together as their sort of core knowledge. So just kind of interesting to see this breakdown. Obviously, the blue circle being the biggest means the majority of people taking the survey felt like they knew the most about Live Mode or they enjoyed Live Mode the most. Now, these also, in this graph, it's purely just a visual. It is not like visually accurate, because if you look at this, 2.5% is much bigger than the 7%. So this is just a general visual of the breakdown. But anyway, let's move on. Let's have a look at the kits. Now, this year, as every year, there's so many more kits. We're up to 33 kits now. Anyway, at the time of this survey, I think there was actually some more after we started the survey. Those aren't in here. But at the time of the survey, we have 33 that we're going to go through. So this year, instead of going through each of them one by one, we will go back to the list style, but then we'll have a look at the top 10 a little bit closer. So, down the bottom. Sorry, Modern Menswear, that is the lowest rated pack at a 4.2. Bust the Dust coming in at 4.4. And then just moving on to the next row here, you can see we've got Carnival Streetwear, Party Essentials, Fashion Street, Throwback Fit, Courtyard Oasis, Castle Estate, which, by the way, I think Castle, and them being in this list is not necessarily saying they're bad. A 6.5 is pretty good, and I think Castle Estate, assuming you want to build a castle, is pretty good. And then we have Industrial Loft Kit. Moving up, next row, we got Country Kitchen Kit, Moonlight Chic, Decor to the Max, Riviera Retreat, Symptomates, Urban Homage, and Little Campers. We're getting pretty good. Like, I mean, the 7.0, those are very good ratings, to be honest. And then final row that we've got here, we've got Cozy Bistro, then Goth Galore, Poolside Splash, Basement Treasure, Desert Luxe, Inch-In Arrivals, and First Fits Kit. That's the breakdown of the lower rated packs. We'll have a look at them all in a full list in just a moment as well. But let's move forward to the top 10. So number 10, we got the Pastel Pop Kit, which was the collaboration with Plumbella. This one's great. I feel like I use these items all the time, so that makes sense. Very good kit. It came in with a 7.7, very nice. Coming in at number 9, we got the Grunge Revival kit with a 7.7. I think it was just a very good cast kit. I feel like even I use some of those things from time to time. Number 8, we're moving on to the Modern Lux kit at a 7.8. Also very high score, doing very well. This one is pretty good too, actually. I use a lot of this stuff all the time. Going into number 7 now, we got the Storybook Nursery kit, which was a collaboration with Sixum CC. So I feel like a bit of the theme is some of the top kits are collaborations with creators. And maybe EA's also noticed that because I feel like we're getting a lot more of those now. Moving on to number 6, we've got the Bathroom Clutter kit, which was not a collaboration, but is just, I guess, I feel like clutter's always good. Clutter is always good. Look at those. Look. Oh, there was dentures over there, but they're gone now. They're there. Look at them. Look at those dentures. Very nice. All right, get the show on the road. Number 5, Blooming Rooms. This is a great kit. It always has been. Highly recommend. If you don't have any kits, I mean, I guess this is number 5. Maybe I should recommend number 1, but number 5 is very good too. I love this one. Moving on to number 4, we got the Artist Studio kit, another more recent one coming out at 8.0, which is fantastic. Actually, we finally got a new woodworking table. I don't know, it's been 10 years of The Sims and we only have 2 of them. Also the new easel there as well, very nice. Moving on to number 3, we've got the Greenhouse Haven kit, also a fantastic one. I use those windows and doors like all the time now, so those are really, really good. That's an 8.2. Moving on to number 2 is the Everyday Clutter kit. I feel like the clutter kits are very popular. I think they're very popular. That's an 8.3. This is a great one too. And then that leaves at number 1, still number 1 from last year as well, I believe, is the Book Nook kit coming in at an 8.7. This one is just great for the bookcases and being able to fill out a whole room. Anyway, let's move on to the list and see the full breakdown. So here we go. Here is our full list of the kits by their score. So number 1, we got Book Nook kit. If you want to pause, you can check out this full list. But what's interesting now with the survey this year, I asked you guys if you received any of the packs through an EA promotion. So that means that they give away a lot of kits for free. So now we can see the ownership scores, these scores compared to last year, and then also compared to how many people said they got it for free. So for example here, Desert Lux, which was famously the kit they gave away for free when the Sims 4 base game became free, we can see 63.5% of people said they got that pack for free, which is a lot of people that took the survey. So that's 63% of the 71%. So there's a few people in there that bought it, but I mean, Desert Lux is a great kit anyway, so I kind of recommend that. But then other interesting notable ones are like Fashion Street Kit. I'm not sure how accurate this is because obviously this survey is just what people report that they are doing. Fashion Street Kit was given away for free, but what's kind of interesting about it is you can see 30.2% of people own Fashion Street Kit, but 27.4% got it for free. So does that mean that potentially less than 3% of people that own that kit actually bought it? That could potentially be the least bought pack in all of The Sims 4. And we may have just stumbled upon that fact. Now we can also see the change in score from last year. Now the gold little stars, those are new packs in this survey that weren't in the last one. Industrial Loft dropping 10 places. Now keeping in mind we have 8 new kits this year. Some of that movement is from the new kits. So some of the dropped places will just because there's a new kit above them, some of them because people change their mind, etc. Anyway, with that sort of explanation of how this graph is working, when we get to the next ones, it should be a little bit quicker. Now let's move on to the stuff packs. Before we get into the stuff facts, I also want to explain something new this year, the bug score. I asked you guys to rate how buggy every stuff pack, game pack, and expansion was from 0 to 10. We're then using that bug score to affect the overall average score of the pack. So last year and the year prior, we would take all 4 of our scores, if they had a world, and just simply average them. And then that gave us our score. Very basic. This year, we're gonna take the bug score, apply a little bit of maths, which I will detail down in the description below. So if you want to actually know what formula I use for that, it'll be in the description down below. But we're going to use that, take our first score, apply the formula, get our second score. And then that is our final weighted score. Basically, the more buggy a pack is, the more our score will drop. So that means, you know, if there's barely any bugs, the score barely changes and it doesn't really matter. If there is a lot of bugs, the score will drop quite a lot. And actually we're gonna see some pretty big changes this year in the rankings because of that fact. And it's actually kind of interesting. So let's check out the stuff packs. And this year there was 1 brand new stuff pack. So that means My First Pet Stuff is now in 20th place. So that's down to 3.1 now. I think it's the same as every year. It's a DLC for a DLC. Even though a lot of people do get this pack for free, I'm not sure if it was fully given out for free, but a lot of people on console got it with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack as well. So a lot of it comes from there. In 19th place, we have Luxury Party Stuff Pack. Now, some of these stuff packs are gonna start changing. Some of the places are a little bit different from last year. Like I said, it's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's move on. To number 18, we have Spooky Stuff. A lot of these early stuff packs I feel are still kind of hanging around the bottom, you know, they haven't really moved much. Number 17, we got Bowling Night Stuff, got a 4.8, not too bad, not too bad. I mean, it's not too great either, but you know, don't want to slam Bowling Night Stuff, it's not the worst pack. That was my first pet stuff. Number 16 is Perfect Patio Stuff with the hot tubs, which of course now you can get the hot tub in the base game, the one with the roof. So the sort of gimmick of this pack doesn't really exist anymore, so I guess that's probably part of the reason why it's maybe not as good. Also, it just didn't add that much. Number 15, we got Fitness Stuff Pack. Of course, get the rock climbing thing and more gym equipment and some funky clothes. Number 14, we got Backyard Stuff Pack. Got the little bird feeder, the slip and slide. I do actually genuinely like the slip and slide. We have used that quite a few times in the past year, actually, more than I ever used to. I guess because I kind of just forget about it, so it's nice to use it again. At number 13, we have Cool Kitchen Stuff Pack, which I feel like probably dropped more, not specifically this year, but just in general since Home Chef Hustle came out, because that stuff pack just had so much more in it and a much nicer kitchen, so that did not help out Cool Kitchen Stuff. But number 12, we've got Moschino Stuff Pack, which is sitting at a 5.4. This did add that whole fashion photographer career and did add some overhauled photography as well, which I think is pretty nice. Number 11, we've got Vintage Glamour Stuff, which I would like a lot more if the butlers worked a little bit better, because I feel like they have a lot of potential, but I have faced a lot of bugs with them. So I'm actually interested to see what the bug score is on this pack in particular. It could be a little lower than expected. Anyway, moving on to number 10, the top 10 Romantic Garden Stuff. This one I always thought was kind of weird, but over time, I feel like it's grown on me. I like the flowers and the garden stuff, even though it is kind of a little out there. So, oh, and the wishing well, that's pretty sweet too. Number 9, we've got Movie Hangout Stuff. You've got the big outdoor screen. Of course, you can watch movies with people, which again, we have actually used that a few times this year. So I do enjoy it. It is a little bit of fun to gather everyone together. And if you do time it right, you can actually get a lot of people watching a movie at the same time. So it's kind of fun. Number 8, we got the Toddler Stuff Pack sitting at a 5.9. This, it's a classic pack. The infamous ball pit, we all know and love that. I mean, it's not so bad, but it when it came out, it was a little rough. Yeah, this is good, you know, adds more toddler stuff. We got toddler slides. I kind of wish we need more toddler stuff. Maybe we need more. Let's do more. Come on, Sims. Number 7, kids room stuff, 6.0. This is great. I use this stuff all the time. I feel like this number 7 and higher, I feel like I'm going to be like, yeah, these are all good and I use them all the time. So let's see, number 6, Laundry Day Stuff Pack. Oh, actually, I'm interested in this one. First of all, if this rating has changed much since last year, like the ranking. And I'm interested to see how buggy people rate this, because I feel like I would enjoy this a lot more if the laundry didn't break all the time. The machines kind of bug out, and sometimes the laundry just kind of gets stuck. But if that didn't happen, I very much enjoy this pack. Number 5, we got Nifty Knitting. That's a classic as well. Have not used this that much recently. Maybe we'll have to do it again for this following year. Maybe I should make it my mission that the top 5 of each category, we make sure to incorporate it somehow this year. We're going to use the gameplay from it. I'm not committed to that. I'm probably going to forget that. Anyway, number 4, we've got Paranormal Stuff Pack. This is fantastic if you like paranormal stuff. This really kind of set the bar for stuff packs when it came out. Paranormal, Crystal Creations, Home Chef Hustle. The quality of those 3 stuff packs is so high. I kind of feel like that's why they don't do any stuff packs anymore. We get like maybe one a year if we're lucky. So I'm hoping we get another stuff pack this year, because our last one, Crystal Creations, was the beginning of last year, or like February last year. So fingers crossed, because I feel like these stuff packs are really hitting their stride and I feel like we need more of them. Number 3, we've got Crystal Creations. I was just speaking of her. 7.9, very, very good. I feel like the gameplay is definitely overpowered if you get the right crystal, and I kept ending up with the crystal, the plum bite, that increases your needs over time. Basically, the best cheats that are built into the game. It is a lot of fun too. I mean, you don't have to use those crystals in that way, but it's fun. And all the jewelry stuff, pretty cool. Great pack, absolutely great. Number 2, we've got Home Chef Hustle. Also fantastic. The kitchen is amazing. The new appliances The selling table where you can sell the food individually, a lot of fun. Really, really great stuff pack. Highly recommend, even if you don't use the selling stand. Just the kitchen itself, I feel like is worth it. Like, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful kitchen. That, of course, leaves at number 1, Tiny Living Stuff Pack, which I feel like has been so good for so long. 8.5 adds the whole actually this is a really good stuff pack. The new lot type, the tiny home bonuses and advantages, beautiful new items. I feel like all of it was executed so well. So you know what? I feel like stuff packs are where it's at right now. I mean, this one was a little while ago, of course, but like the last 3 stuff packs have been pretty impressive. So I'm looking forward to the next one, whatever it's gonna be. Anyway, let's have a look at the list. Our rankings here, we can see the bug scores actually, which is interesting. So the ones I wanted to look at, here we go. Laundry Day stuff has a 3.4, which might not sound that high, that's out of 10. But when you consider comparing it to all the others, most of them are like between 0 to 2 at most. Most stuff packs don't really have anything to bug out in. Laundry Day, so 3.4 is kind of high for Laundry Day. Not that much though. And then the other one, 1.9 for Vintage Glamour. Kind of thought that might be higher, the bug score there. Now compared to last year, Laundry Day stuff actually did drop 2 places. So that means it used to be ranked number 4. It's dropped down to 6. And that would obviously be because of the new pack, which is here, so that's dropped 1 point. And then I'm gonna guess that the bug score probably dropped us a little bit. Yes, so you can see here, I've just enabled our previous scores. For Laundry Day stuff, it used to be 1.2 points higher, which is actually quite a lot. So that is quite a drop for Laundry Day stuff there. Now let's have a look at the free packs. You can see here, for My First Pet stuff, 43% of people surveyed said they got My First Pet stuff for free. And within the last year, since the last survey, 25% more people own that pack, which means I'm pretty sure they did give it away for free at some point in the last year. Because having that big of a change between this survey and last survey usually means it's been given away for free. The other ones, down here, backyard stuff was given away for free because it got 19% more new owners. Romantic garden stuff was also given away for free in the last year, with 27% more people getting it. And also Home Chef Hustle, that was not given away for free, because if we look down here, yes, 18.1% new people owning it, but only 1.3% of people said they got it for free in a promotion, right? So that just means people bought it because it was the new stuff pack, which makes sense. It was new, so that people bought it. Well, newer, obviously. Crystal Creations was the new one this year, which actually 51% of people say they owned. That took the survey, so that's pretty good. Okay, now the next category is we like to look at the worlds. We're ignoring the game packs and the expansion packs as a whole. We just like to rank the worlds. We like to see what's the best world overall, you know? And this year, in the overall ranking of the packs, the worlds are no longer as powerful to the score. I've actually halved how much it affects the score. So that means if you had like a 10 rated world, it would only impact the score by half as much, if that makes sense. It just means so that if you have a really bad buggy pack with a beautiful world, My Wedding Stories, it doesn't really massively inflate the score to make the pack suddenly good. Does that make sense? So with that being said, let's have a look at the worlds. Down the bottom, 2.1. Dude, that is like the lowest score. 2.1 for Magnolia Promenade. That, to be fair, so Magnolia Promenade has 4 lots in it. Of course, there's the other hidden lots that you go to for work and all that, like the hospital, police station, Sixum, and the science lab, which is another 4 lots, but most of the time you never see those lots, so people don't care about those. Batu not coming in last, let's go! 3.5, Del Sol Valley, Glimmerbrook, Forgotten Hollow, Granite Falls, and Brychester. I feel like the world scores very quickly rise. So you can see now Ciudad Enamorada, brand new world from the last time we did the survey. 6.8, pretty good score. Tomarang sitting at a 6.4. I feel like Tomarang probably would have done better if it was bigger, had 3 neighborhoods, probably would have helped it out a little bit. Moving up to the top row here, we've got San Sequoia, Moonwood Mill, Chestnut Ridge, Mount Komorebi, and Tartosa, which is, like I said, beautiful world, but it won't affect the pack as much this year. Now let's move into the top 5 worlds this year and see who's coming in at number 5. We've got Brindleton Bay, 8.0, 91% of users say they own this world. Now, yeah, fantastic world. I love this world. I always play in Brindleton Bay. It is great. I mean, I feel like these top 5 worlds pretty much all equal in how great they are. So we got Solani here coming in, 8.1. Only 78% of people own this one. Interesting choice. But yeah, this is a fantastic world as well. You can do a lot with it. I feel like you can go a lot of different directions, whether you go sort of off the grid, living off the land kind of vibe, or you go like ultra luxury, or you just enjoy a nice casual island life. I feel like you can do a lot in this world. Number 3, we've got San Myshuno. Fantastic. I feel like we need more city worlds. I know we just did get Ciudad and Emirata, and I guess Tomarang kind of a city world as well. But like, this is big city world, right? Like, and also has more lots in it, which they've just kind of forgot to add lots into worlds these days. Anyway, 8.4, fantastic. Fantastic rating. Number 2, we got Windenburg, the biggest world in the game. Makes sense. They're never making a world that big again. I wish they would, because it's obviously great. People love it. 8.6 rated. Of course, that leaves at number 1, everyone's favorite, Henford on Bagley, 8.9. I think where this pulls ahead is all the interactive stuff in the actual town as well. Not just the festivals, because festivals are usually kind of buggy, to be fair. But like, I really enjoy all the quests with the townies. Like, you go to the board, you get a quest from the villager, you go around and do it. I don't know, that whole like community vibe that you get helping out other people, that element in the world with such a beautiful world, I feel like that makes sense. It makes sense why it's so good. It is a beautiful world. One thing I wish it was a little less green in the color lighting. That's my only like real issue with that world, but I love it. Fantastic. All right, let's move on to game packs. This is where we start to get into the juicy gossip. Will Batu be number... Wait, how many game packs do we have? No, we didn't get a new one, did we? We haven't got a game pack in ages. Like, in 3 years. Wait, when did Werewolves come out? 2.5 years ago is when Sims 4 Werewolves came out. Maybe it's because of me. I built the lots in the Sims 4 Werewolves. Maybe I did so good that they decided, we're never going to be able to top this again. We can't do another game pack. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kidding, obviously. All right, number 12. Come on down, Sims 4 Dine Out. This is an interesting case because Dine Out was not last year. And this is one pack that significantly, let's have a look, got impacted by that bug score. 6.8. I'm not sure if that's the buggiest rated pack overall in the game, but it's up there. That is a huge bug score. And actually, what's really interesting about this case, about Dine Out being number 12, I'll show you the score in a minute, is that it's been improved. It's actually better than last year. The gameplay score has actually gone up, and not by like a trivial amount. Like, I'm not going to go into this much detail on every pack in this list, but this one's interesting because they made a pretty good effort this year, and you know, hats off to when they actually do fix the game. You know, we got to encourage that. But Dine Out last year, you guys rated the gameplay in Dine Out 4.5. So it's gone up 1.8 points. Like, that's a lot. Most scores will change year to year by like 0.1 up or down. Like, not much. Like, enough that it's just, you know, the margin of error of the, you know, people changing their opinion over time. It's very little. But because they did a lot of bug fixing this year, which I know that bug score maybe doesn't imply that they did, people have actually really enjoyed the gameplay more. And I know you might be saying it might be because of Carl's Dine Out mod, but that mod has been out also for like 2 years, 3 years. So that has happened in the past few years when we've done this survey. So that has not meaningfully changed the score. I do genuinely think from the bug fixes they have made to Dine Out, people are actually enjoying it more. So I'm sorry, EA, that even though you did actually make this pack better, it's actually lower rated this year. That's maybe my fault. But you know, keep it up. Maybe next year, EA, challenge to you, maybe next year, Dine Out can overtake Batu. All right, anyway, without further ado, the actual score, unfortunately, Dine Out 3.3, not great. And for a point of comparison, last year it was a 4.7, so it's actually dropped a lot. And that is, again, because of the bug score, which, by the way, let's have a look. We're not gonna do this for every pack, but here you can see how people rated everything separately. We had about 15,000 votes this year, and this is how they break down. So you can see a lot of people sort of, I think, just selecting 10, not a lot of people on 9, which kind of, I think people that select 10 obviously either really think it is 10 in a bug score, or they're like Dine Out associate it with bugs, so they just select 10 and move on. Because it's interesting that we have such a dip in 9. Quite unusual there, actually. Anyway, like I said, we're not going to spend this long on all of them, otherwise we'll be here forever, but that Dine Out was a particularly interesting case. Now, like I said, number 11, Journey to Batu. Let's go! Not last, baby! We did it! All it took was me changing the rules of the survey. Not really. I mean, I think I have fairly incorporated the bug score into these ratings because last year and the previous year we had no way to rate the bugs of a pack. And I think we need that score to be able to accurately rate the packs. You know, if a pack is really buggy, it's not a good, it's a bad experience. And I think that's fair. So that actually, because of Dine Out's bugs, puts Journey to Batuu ahead of it, which is fantastic. Sitting at a beautiful 3.9. That's quite a way ahead. It's only got a 2.0 on the bug score, so pretty good. Pretty good. And I do want to look at these graphs because again, you can see sitting at, look at those 0 votes. All the ones at the very beginning on 0 where you got the big peak. A lot of people just don't like the idea of it. Don't like Batuu. You're just choosing 0. And you know, that's fair, but I'm just proud that Batuu was able to get up 1 place this year. Now in this year's survey, I did also ask for those of you that don't own the pack, because all of this is data from people that say they own the pack. If you didn't own the pack, I asked you if you wanted to get the pack. Again, we're not going to look at this for every result, but this is Batuu, so it's kind of interesting. So this is our pie chart of those who don't own the pack, how likely they are to get it in the future. And there's a few different options here. I will buy it means they're just going to go out and get it right now. Doesn't matter if it's on sale, doesn't matter anything. They're just going to get it, they want it. I might buy it means they've thought about it, but they're not, whatever, maybe if I see it, maybe I'll get it. Only if it's on sale, self-explanatory, they're only gonna get it if it's on sale. Only if it's free, because EA sometimes gives away free packs, so they'll only get it then. And then I am not interested means even if it's free, they don't want it. And surprise, surprise, I am not interested. 54% of the people said, even if it's free, I don't want Batuu. Then only if it's free is 37%, and then the others are basically nothing, which is pretty funny. Anyway, let's move on to number 10. Coming in at number 10, My Wedding Stories, which I believe has dropped in scores as well this year, thanks to that pesky little bug score, because this pack has had a rough time. I think, though, the other scores have gone up this year as well. Not all of them. I think gameplay has maybe gone up a bit. Actually, yes, gameplay score's gone up a lot this year, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit. So they have done a lot of bug fixing this year on My Wedding Stories, but unfortunately, because it is still buggy, and I think people's memory of the bugs is probably also influencing the score, right? But I think as more years go by, like I think at the end of this year when we do another survey and My Wedding Stories and Dine Out are more and more stable, and as we get further removed from the time when they were so buggy, we'll probably see that score go down over time, like the bug score. But it does mean it's a 4.8 for My Wedding Stories, coming in at number 10. Like I said, we have that world score, it's at 7.8, but the world is not helping us much this year. Sorry, Wedding Stories. Moving on to number 9, we've got Outdoor Retreat, one of the early packs in The Sims 4. Well, actually, it was, no, not one of the early packs. I'm pretty sure it was literally the first pack overall. Before any expansions, it was the very first pack, I think. I should check that. Yes, it was. I just double checked that. It was the very first pack released overall, coming in at a 4.8. I mean, pretty good. For their very first pack, that's pretty good at 4.8. I'll take it. I mean, that's great. Got a good gameplay score, got a good world score. It's a little bit of fun. I don't really revisit it that often in terms of the actual going to the world and doing the herbology. Herbology? That's herbalism, it just said not. Herbology is magic stuff, not that. But when I do, it is kind of fun. We did it not too long ago, maybe like a year or two ago. You know, you get into it. Anyway, let's move on to number 8. We've got Spa Day, which also with the refresh, I know that wasn't in the last year. I think it just goes to show the refresh of this pack did not really help it out. It's obviously still better than the ones we just saw, but I don't know. I feel like of all packs to refresh, I still to this day think it was not the best one to choose, just because it's just not the most interesting pack of game. Like, no matter how good it is, there's a ceiling of how fun spa and retreat gameplay can kind of be. And I think we found it. I think it's a 5.5. Although if they did fix the bugs in it, it would probably help the score out a little bit. Anyway, let's go up to number 7. We've got Strangerville. I do love Strangerville. I love the world in particular. And I think it is pretty well regarded too. Yeah, 6.3 is pretty good for a world. I get that as a desert, it's probably not everyone's favorite. And the whole mother plant thing and the possessed Sims thing, not everyone's favorite. But I think those that like that kind of side to the game, the more wacky stuff, I think this is a good pack. And I have a lot of fun doing it. And to be honest, we replayed the mother gameplay so much in the last 1 to 2 years, people were sick of it. Which I don't know if that's a good thing, but we were doing it a few times. I don't know why it came up so much, but we ended up doing it a whole bunch. Anyway, 6.1, pretty respectable score. Going on to number 6, of course, we've got Jungle Adventure. Come on down. Fun pack, you go off to the jungle, you steal artifacts, and then you return to your world and sell them. Maybe not the morally best pack in the game in terms of stealing ancient artifacts from a faraway land and then selling them back home. But, you know, it's all in good fun, and it's The Sims, so it doesn't really matter. A 1.9 bug score, not too bad. I don't think I really remember too many issues in this. I mean, there's obvious packs that have a lot of bugs. Most of our packs are sort of sitting around 1 to 2, I think in the ratings. That's kind of where most of them are. The ones that are particularly bad, you'll see them pop up for sure. Anyway, let's move on to the top 5. So at number 5, we got Realm of Magic, which is coming in with a, what score have we got here? Beautiful 6.3. Okay, very good. People enjoy the gameplay of this. I do enjoy the gameplay as well. I think it could have been expanded a little bit more, and I've said this before. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but the spells and all that are fun, but a lot of them are just things that you could already do in the game or have since been able to do without being a spellcaster. So it's like being a spellcaster isn't really that special. I mostly use it for the benefits of copy paste though. So just basically almost I'm using it as like cheats where you can like get your needs up, you can copy paste stuff, you can teleport. It's kind of like that. It's an avenue to all that kind of stuff, which is a bit of fun. I think it is very fun playing it through the first time, especially if you're not grinding it. Because every time I've done it recently, I sort of just grind my magical skill up, and that's really boring. But if you're just kind of playing it and having fun, playing it, I guess how they intended it, it's pretty fun. Anyway, let's go to number 4. We have Vampires. A lot of the occult packs ending up near the top, which is actually very interesting because typically occult packs are not overall the most popular. Like a lot of people, I guess a lot of people either love occults or they don't really at all, you know, so I think it's kind of interesting. But yeah, this is pretty highly rated. 7 in gameplay, 7 in build mode, 6.2 in creator sim. The world a little bit lacking. Some people quite like Forgotten Hollow. I think my main issue with it is that it is small and dark, but the dark thing makes sense. It's a pack about vampires, so I feel like the world has to be dark. So that's I guess a preference thing. I don't like that it's dark, but wouldn't make sense for it not to be dark. But only 4 lots, I think, is always so limiting. However, when we get to werewolves, I think the 4 lots actually it's 5 lots. So even that's better. But I think the small worlds can be done better than they were done in Vampires. But overall, I think that's very fun. And actually, the ability skill tree, I think this is the first time they introduced it to the game, where you choose this right here, where you choose different abilities and level up. I think this is great. This whole system is fantastic, and I do really like that they keep using it for other things, like in Get Famous, or for werewolves, all that kind of stuff. And now for aliens as well. Not aliens, ghosts. For ghosts, aliens don't have a skill tree, do they? They should. But for ghosts, obviously they do. So yeah, really good. Let's move on to number 3. We've got Dream Home Decorator, which is interesting because I imagine the bug score. Yeah, 4.3 on bugs. I kind of feel like maybe it's better because I feel like it used to be very buggy. I have not played the actual career in a while. But that was sometimes very broke. So it'd be interesting. I'm not sure how it is now, but it's a 4.3. So it is still that's pretty high bug score compared to other stuff. So the fact that we're still coming in at number 3, this is a good pack. And I do really like this pack. And we had a lot of fun with the Let's Play. It was a pretty long Let's Play. I guess if you don't like building or build mode, probably not the pack for you. Because as you can see, it's mostly build mode at 9. And gameplay is fun too, but the gameplay is it's build mode really. So yeah, you know, if you don't like that, you don't like it. Moving on to number 2, we've got Parenthood. This is fantastic. I highly recommend this. I think this pack is one of the ones, if you don't own any packs in Sims 4, this is one of the first I recommend people to get when they ask me, just because, assuming you like family gameplay, but it really makes actually having a family more interesting and more fun. As you can see, gameplay 7.6, build mode is a 7 as well, creator sim 6.3. It's not very buggy either, with a 1.8 rating. Coming in at 6.9, that's fantastic. I think this is a great game pack. And honestly, I don't know if I could do the sort of family gameplay thing without it. Like, I don't always use all that kind of stuff, but when you get stuck into the character values, like in our Growing Together Let's Play, where we really did the family thing, I think it added a lot. And also in Seasons when we did it as well, I think that's when we did it. Maybe it wasn't out then. Anyway, it's great. It's fantastic. So highly recommend. Now, number 1, everybody's favorite, Sims 4 Werewolves, probably because of the world. I always just say that because I built the lots, because you didn't know, I already mentioned that once in this video. But yes, not very buggy. The world is good. Ignoring the lots, because obviously I built the lot, so of course I think it's good. But the actual world, the things that are happening now with the 2 werewolf packs, sort of things you actually interact with in the world, the tunnel system, the mountain, the lake, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do in the world. And werewolves in particular, this world kind of feels way more open and enjoyable to just live and sort of explore around in. Just because there's a lot more shared activities in the world space. Rather than some other worlds where there's nothing going on in the middle, like, not to throw any shade, but like Tomarang has the night market, but that's kind of it. And even then, there's not that much going on there, and there's nothing to do there. And I guess another good example of a really good world that has stuff going on is Henford-on-Bagley, the highest rated world, because it has those other things in the world to go do that isn't just a lot to visit. You kind of need more stuff to fill in those gaps, and I think Werewolves does really well there with the world. So let's have a look at our list. First up, this is the game packs all rated by their score. So first up, you can obviously see Werewolves number 1, Dine Out number 12, unfortunately. And we can see the change in their scores here. Wedding Stories dropped 5 places. And that, again, is because of our 6.7 bug score. I mean, look how buggy that is. Only being beaten by Dine Out, which only dropped 1 place. But if we actually have a look at our score change, the score for Dine Out dropped by 1.4, which is massive. That's a big change. Wedding Stories also had the exact same change with that 1.4 drop. As you can see, because they're both 6.7, obviously these are all rounded numbers, but that's why they had a very similar drop. And on the point of changes, you can see here, like I was saying, Dine Out had a massive glow up. 1.8 increase to gameplay. Likewise with Wedding Stories, massive 2.2 point increase. Which is why it's a shame that because they're still buggy, they actually dropped in score overall. But big change, good job. Here's all the packs rated by gameplay. So if you're interested in gameplay, these are the packs with the best gameplay down here. You can pause on any of these if you're interested. Here's all the packs rated by the best build mode. And of course, we have all the packs rated by the best creator sim. And then lastly, for a bit of fun, all the packs rated by the buggiest. So Dine Out coming in at number 1, most buggy. I thought this was just a fun one to look at. It's time to expand to expansion packs. So let's go ahead and see what's different this year. Coming in at number 16, the lowest rated pack, but the first pack released, expansion pack that is, Get to Work. Coming in at a grand total of 4.2. I think also suffering a little bit from that bug score, because this pack I feel like is pretty fun, but we have noticed, but they have been updating, that some of the careers are a little bit bugged. But yeah, over the last year, I have noticed there has been patch notes of them fixing things. Specifically, they sort of worked on the doctor career a little bit, I think. I don't know if that was this year. But they have been sort of getting to it, but not a huge amount. Anyway, Get to Work, you do the doctor, the detective right there, the scientist, oh, there it is right there. Also doing all the retail store stuff if you want. Oh, there it is. This is great, this is great, it's lining up perfectly. It is a lot of fun, it is a lot of fun, and I always use the retail system to open up shops and sell a bunch of stuff throughout the year. So I mean, I use this pack all the time. The world obviously is really hurting it out with a 2.1 score, not great. So if we actually have a look at our little graph breakdown here, you can see the world is really where it suffers the most. That is really pulling down the score. The rest of the stuff is okay. The build mode, I think, suffers from the fact that they have to have items for each of the 3 careers, the doctor, scientist, and detective, which means they had to have specific things for those careers, which takes away from the overall number of items that you could just use around your house. Because you can't use like all the medical equipment just to decorate your house. I mean, I guess you could with cheats, but you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have enough items to be able to be like a cohesive design style of this pack. So it kind of is lacking there, which makes sense. Number 15, The Sims 4 for Rent. Man, I had such high hopes for this pack. I really thought this would be like my new favorite. And I feel like it will be my favorite if they fix the bugs. It is probably one of the most buggy expansion packs. I think it might be, actually. I guess we'll find out. But when it works, all the elements of this pack I really, really love. But just go watch my For Rent Let's Play that we did. See all the bugs there. The Tiny Town series, see all the bugs there. You know, the whole game corrupting. I spent hours trying to fix it. And that's only if you know how to fix it. And obviously you can't fix it if you're on console because it just doesn't work. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about how annoying I find it. I really wanted this to be as amazing as it can be. Literally, if they fix the huge issues with this pack, I will love it so much more. Like, they don't need to add stuff to it. I don't think it needs more content. The content is there, it just doesn't work, which is not great. Not a great look. Anyway, let's have a look at the scores. I'm interested to see what the bug score was for this pack. Oh, 6.4, that is high. The world, 6.4, Creator Sim, 6.8, build mode, 7.5. Build mode is great. Gameplay, 6.8. I would put gameplay for me, I did take this survey myself. I did it for a members video where I went through and rated everything. I actually don't remember where I put it. If this worked, I would love this. I was so excited to buy a whole bunch of apartment buildings, be a landlord, get all the events popping up, go around, fix the apartments, upgrade the apartments. I was so excited. And that's what it's supposed to do, and it still doesn't do that. But in that sense, I know it says excluding bugs, but like the bugs are making the gameplay not work at all. So I can't be like it's a 10. I'm gonna rate it high. This may be controversial. Please refrain from getting mad at me. This says excluding bugs. It's a 9. Honestly, I'd probably give it a 10, but I can't bring myself to click 10 because it just doesn't work. I know it says excluding bugs, but I just can't do it. The gameplay, like I said, I love this pack when it works. The big caveat. Anyway, with that bug score, that actually pulls For Rent down to 5.1. That is such a shame. EA, come on, man. If you work on this pack this year, yes, I know you should have worked on it before it came out, but it's already out, so let's just deal with the mess we've got. If you fix the pack now, in the next survey, it's only going to go up. That's the only place. Well, it could go down, I guess. It could drop more. But let's aim for up. Let's aim for up. Let's make it better. Let's go to number 14. What do we got? We got Get Famous, which is actually kind of low. It's kind of low. I mean, I guess. I don't use this pack a whole heap, but it is. I found this so much fun. This is one of my favorite Let's Plays I did. But I guess when it's like put side by side with some other packs, maybe it's not as fully fledged. Like the whole acting career is so much fun. I mean, I do recommend this pack, but I guess it's number 14, so people are maybe get other packs first. But I had so much fun with this. I don't know what else to say. You get to go be an actor and do all that. I guess once you've done it, all the gigs are kind of the same. But when you play through it the first time, the whole fame element and all that, I find it fun. I do find it very fun. So it's a 5.4 for Get Famous. Moving on to number 13, lucky number 13, Sims 4 High School Years, which I think has dropped actually this year. We'll obviously have a look at all the comparisons later on. But yeah, the bug score for High School Years, it is quite buggy. There was quite a few issues, especially with some of the aspirations. One of them was like, you had to sneak out to a party, but that just didn't work sometimes. Like you had to wait for it to pop up, but it just didn't. So it kind of made some things not possible to do. Now, having said that, this again was one of my favorite Let's Plays in recent years, though that is because we kind of combined it with a bunch of other stuff too. And I think the whole high school gameplay thing is fun, and I did enjoy it the first time. I don't think we've really been back since. It's not really something that you go back and do again. It is very repetitive. Even like once you've been a few days, like once you've played for like 1 week, going on each day because they have like different kind of things that pop up. Once you've kind of done that, you've done it, you know what I mean? And then the prom is fun, but it's very short and kind of hard to complete. But I don't know, I did have fun with this pack. I think it's cute, but I guess just keeping all those things in mind. It's kind of, I guess it's in the same realm of Get Famous, where you do the gameplay kind of once and it's not really there all the time. You don't kind of keep going back to it that often. I mean, I use a lot of this stuff, like the build mode and creator sim, as you can see, they're rated very highly, 7.9 and 8. So those are great, and I use that stuff all the time, but I guess the actual gameplay and stuff I don't use as much. But moving on to number 12, we've got Island Living. This is interesting because, as we know, the world in Island Living is rated quite highly. It is a fantastic world. But like I said, this year, our scores take into account the world half as much, because I took feedback over the last couple of years that has been, being talked about, where the world score probably shouldn't be as important as the gameplay score, which is how we were doing it before. We just average it all. Whereas this year, like I said, we kind of half the impact of the world. So it doesn't pull us up as high as before. It makes a subtle difference. The bigger difference is probably from the bug score as well, being a 2.4. But this is still a fun pack, though I still don't, and I say this every year, I think, the gameplay I do think is lacking in this pack. Like for an expansion pack, it needed some more stuff. It needs some more things in it. If they had hotels in it, beautiful. That would have solved it. That would have solved it. And not in the sense of making Solani a vacation world, because I don't think islands are inherently a vacation world. But if they made a hotel a lot type that you could place anywhere and it just happened to come in this pack, would have been great. Let's go on to number 11. We've got Lucky Discover University. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I guess it's not that unpopular because it's number 11, it's not last. But I kind of really like Discover University. I don't know why. I think because the struggle of doing a full class load, you do 4 classes and then doing that homework, it takes forever. And if you're playing with more than one sim, it is not fun, to be fair. But I don't know, I like going to the dorms and then cramming on my home. I don't know, I really enjoy the gameplay. I enjoy University. I've always enjoyed the University packs in Sims 3, Sims 2 as well. And this one I enjoy too, but obviously maybe not as much, well, maybe more than some other people because it was rated number 11. So there you go. Anyway, it comes in with a score of 6.5. Very good. The gameplay is a pretty high score, to be fair. 7.1 is pretty good. I guess where we're lacking is the world, and it is a bit buggy as well. So there you go. All right, top 10 packs. Here we go. Number 10, Get Together. This is the second expansion pack for The Sims 4, so well done, coming in at number 10. We got not very buggy. To be honest, anything below a 2 on the bug score is kind of I think it's fine. I don't think there's huge issues with it. And that's just I think that's a good baseline to keep in your mind. At least that's what I've observed. Is around 2 or lower, it's pretty good. The world, of course, as we know, is fantastic. Creator Sim could be better. I feel like they were still working things out back then in terms of Creator Sim and build mode. They weren't as, the quality of the items in the early packs aren't as good as they are now. Not to say that they're bad, but you can definitely see the improvement when you compare it to today. But yeah, this one, you get the walk-in closets, which actually, we have not got a single other walk-in closet ever since this pack. Of course, in Love Struck, we got the janitor's closet, which is, you can't change in though. It's not a wardrobe you can place in your house, but same kind of thing. We need more built-in wardrobes. Anyway, Get Together, 6.5. The club system is pretty good too. I don't use it that often. I've been trying to use it more because it is really good. We're using it in Tiny Town series to sort of get a group of Sims together and do the same activity is great for that. I guess I just underutilized that feature because it is pretty powerful. Anyway, let's go up to number 9. We've got Eco Lifestyle. I'm actually curious to see what the bug score is on this pack because I kind of feel like it's had a few issues. 2.7. Like I said, 2 or lower is kind of not too many issues. I feel like above 2, we're getting into the realm of there's a few things going on here. And I think one thing that maybe, and this might be in the gameplay score, things that are kind of annoying, is the neighborhood action plans where they just apply in all the worlds all the time, and you don't always know what they are. And sometimes they just autonomously get voted on, and someone will come over to your house and just steal stuff. And I think the neighborhood action plans are what's happening right now where they vote, and you can vote on it too, and obviously have that sort of part of the gameplay where you change what happens in the neighborhood, right? What's acceptable. One of them is the sharing is caring, where you can, as a player, also go around to someone's house and just take their stuff. Really fun, really funny. Not so fun because when you go to another neighborhood in another world, or just even another neighborhood in the same world, if you don't live there, you can't change the action plans there at all without using cheats or maybe mods. And there might just be random action plans enabled. A little bit of a rant about it. I don't know if that's a bug more than just an annoying game design feature, which I guess is probably why the gameplay is a little bit lower. Anyway, our score for Eco Lifestyle is 6.6. It is a fun pack actually though. Having said all that, that was just me sort of having a little bit of a rant about that. It is fun and I did enjoy it very much. Number 8, we're gonna get into the juicy ones now. Oh, our brand new one, Love Struck. So this has just come out a little bit before this survey. I started the survey in November. This came out in July. Now, I did not include, just while we're talking about new packs, I did not include Life and Death because that had literally just come out maybe a week or 2 before I started the survey. And what we've observed in previous years' surveys, if a pack has just come out right away and we do the survey, it's gonna get a way higher score because everyone's excited, it's brand new. It needs time to digest. So that's why Life and Death is not in this year. It'll be in the next one. Because then we will have had a whole year to experience the pack and sort of fairly rate it and understand everything about it. Anyway, Love Struck coming in, 3.0 on the bugs. I'm trying to think, I guess there was a few bugs at the beginning, especially with the Cupid's Corner Sims. They were not always showing up correctly. And me personally, I feel like the gameplay in this pack is not really for me. And I did say at the time when it came out, it didn't, to me personally, feel like an expansion pack. Kind of felt more like game pack size. It felt like a game pack with a really big world with the apartments and all that. Because I kind of felt like the gameplay for me didn't add enough or change enough. And actually, since playing it more, I found it kind of annoying with when you have a couple, like a married couple their romance bar just drops like within days, you know? It's not like, I feel like it needs to be, they need more time, but I found it can drop pretty quick. I guess it depends on their romantic satisfaction, what type they are, because it's not gonna get into all the details of everything, and I think that might be, you know, once you install the expansion pack for the first time, all Sims that were previously just, you know, in the old system just get converted to the new one, and then it can kind of just drop way too quickly. I don't know, I found it kind of annoying. Having said that, the build mode was good, Creator Sim was good, the world is very nice as well. There you go, came in number 8, pretty good. Moving on to number 7, we've got Cats and Dogs. What a classic. This is such a fantastic world. The world alone is so good in this. And let's not forget, you get cats and dogs. Obviously, no, but I feel like a lot of people forget it also comes with the veterinarian career, which I don't know how buggy that is these days. I have not played that in a while. I do remember hearing there was some issues with it. And I think at the time, when we were doing our Let's Play years ago when it came out, I don't think we could get a 5-star clinic, or it was really, really hard. I can't fully remember that. And I haven't played that for a while, but I did really enjoy doing the vet clinic thing. That was great. That was great fun. I love when they have new businesses that you can own and run with actual gameplay. I think it's so much fun. And of course, cats and dogs. Who doesn't like cats and dogs? Beautiful. Fantastic world, good build mode, good gameplay. 6.8 overall. Moving on to number 6. We're getting into the really good packs right now. City Living, that makes sense. People love this pack. I mean, I love it too, don't get me wrong. But I feel like, unpopular opinion, it is not as good as it could be. Obviously, it's still very good, number 6, but I don't know. I often find myself with, and I remember when I was doing the Let's Play at the time, I kind of felt like I needed some other gameplay in there. Like, I get that there's the apartments and the festivals, but maybe now, especially because so many other packs come with festivals. Festivals were like brand new in this pack. Like, it was a new feature, and we didn't have any others. Now in the game, every 5 minutes you get a new pop-up of a new festival that's running, and I kind of wish they had a way to mute those, because there's so many festivals. But yeah, I guess that was kind of a fun new thing at the time. But maybe now that there's so many other ones, it kind of takes that shine off it a little bit. But anyway, the actual city, the world, the apartment feature, so good. All that stuff is really, really good. And obviously people enjoy that. Makes sense. It's rated 6.8. Not too buggy either. A few little issues. Sometimes the festivals bug out where they like overlap each other, which is kind of funny. But you know, overall pretty good. So moving on to the next one, number 5, Snowy Escape, which also I built some lots in. That's probably why it's rated so good. I'm kidding, obviously. So it's not very buggy, that's good. The world is beautiful, 7.6. I do like that there's always a snowy area in this world, and I actually really like the mountain climb thing. I get why they don't do those kind of things often, because obviously they had to make a whole bunch of other neighborhoods that you can only ever get to when you do that mountain climb excursion. But the fact that they actually made the mountain that you can climb and see and visit, and recently we built a lot, you can build on top of that mountain. The fact that they actually made that, I love, because there's so many things in expansion packs where you just disappear into a hole, and then you get a pop-up saying yes, no, or do this, do that, and that's all it is, which I don't really like any of those. They're really not interesting to me. So the fact that you could actually go on the mountain, actually climb it, and then build a lot up there just for fun, it's so cool. I wish they would do more of that. Like the cave that we have in Horse Ranch, that is just a bunch of pop-ups, is a great example. If you went into that cave and it loaded like a lot inside of a cave, and then there's like a few more, that would be so much cooler. So much cooler. Let's do more of that, please. Anyway, I love that stuff. The mountain was very cool. Of course, they added skiing and snowboarding, and obviously, first time we've had the full like, Japanese-inspired world in Sims 4, coming in at a 7.1. Really, really cool. Also, it had lots built by creators. All right, top 4. Number 4, what is it going to be? Ooh, Horse Ranch. Speak of the horse, and they shall gallop. I don't know, I was trying to be funny. Anyway, Horse Ranch. This is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. I think I really enjoyed this expansion pack because I also combined it with Cottage Living, which you might notice we have not seen yet in the rankings. That is also a good pack, but we'll get to that. I really enjoyed this. I think, I don't know, horses, nectar making. I love that thing. Living a perfect horse ranch lifestyle. The world, I think, is really, really nice as well. Baby sheep, oh, like mini goats, mini sheep is what it was, not baby goats. All that kind of stuff, a lot of fun. And I think it is a little buggy, the 2.8. I think that might be to do with ranch hands, because the ranch hand was supposed to come, help take care of your horses, your mini sheep, your mini goats, they're supposed to help with that. A lot of the time they're kind of bugged out a bit. I think we ended up using mods sometimes to get it to work a bit better. But you know, overall, it was a lot of fun. That Let's Play I had a lot of fun with. Again, because we did combine it with cottage living, but I think this whole aesthetic, the world, the build, create a sim, it's so fun. I mean, we got the whole cowboy hat. I had a mustache when we did it. I got into it. It was great. And that means our score overall was 7.2. Very good. Very good. I love it. I mean, great. It was really good. Moving on to number 3. Ooh, we're getting juicy now. Growing Together. This is a really good pack too. I had so much fun with this. I don't do a huge amount of family gameplay, although it depends. It depends on the pack. And Growing Together was one of the ones where we really got stuck into family gameplay. Obviously, the free game update at this time introduced the infants, and then Growing Together added more stuff for the infants at the same time. So I do actually think the bug score, I'm trying to think, I mean, obviously all packs are buggy, but I think a lot of the bugs in this pack, or perceived to be in this pack, probably came from infants, because there's a lot of weird infant issues, and I think there still is. So I'm not sure how much of that bug score is tied in with the free infant update versus Growing Together, because it kind of blurs together, but it's hard to say. Overall, gameplay, great. Build mode, great. Create a sim, great. World, great, because my girlfriend built lots in this world as well. That's why it's good. That's why the world is good. Obviously. Anyway, so, the treehouse. Yeah, that was cool too. So 7.4, very nice. Now, going into number 2, we're going to find out what number 1 is, but let's focus on number 2 first, which is Seasons. This, amongst a few of the other packs like Parenthood, and I guess our number 1 pack, which we'll get to, are ones that if you don't have any packs or anything, Seasons I always recommend. I mean, I guess it's not for everyone. Some people don't like the holiday thing. I know that's unpopular, but I literally have heard people say, unpopular opinion, I don't like the holiday things. But you can customize. I don't know, I feel like the fact that you can customize all the holidays, remove the holidays, that is the most interesting thing about it, because it means you can have the weather and all that, but just if you don't want the holidays, you don't want that in your game, get rid of them. Get them out of there. We need more customization on stuff like that. Like the neighborhood action plans in Eco Lifestyle, why can't I just get them out of there? Why is it so hard to customize it? Anyway, let's focus on Seasons. Weather Machine, holidays, patchy, Father Winter, there was so much added. It is definitely a highly recommended pack from me, and obviously all of you guys too, because it's rated number 2. Gameplay is 8.4, build mode 7.7, create a sim 7.0, bugs, not very buggy, leading to a 7.5 overall. Like that is really, really good. And I mean, I can't honestly imagine playing The Sims 4 now without Seasons in my pack. In my game, it kind of feels weird to not have seasons, like the weather, like winter and all that, and rain. Like that is very weird. I kind of feel like the basic weather effects should really just be base game. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. This, fantastic. Now, without further ado, let's get on to number 1, the top rated expansion pack. We all know her, we all love her. It's Cottage Living. It's always number 1. It has yet to be knocked off its throne. And overall, you can see it's not very buggy. The world is fantastic. Creator Sims 8.4, build mode's 8.8, gameplay 8.6. Like that is across the board such a high rating. Like people love this pack, and I love this pack. And this pack combined with like Horse Ranch and Cats and Dogs, getting all the animals and stuff in is so awesome. I mean, I think go back and check out our Let's Play in Cottage Living, and you just see it all coming together. It's so beautiful. But if you want to live your cottage life in The Sims 4, I mean, this is it. This is the place to do it. Cows, llamas, foxes, rabbits, birds, giant crops. I mean, chickens, I forgot about. This added so much. This is like the benchmark for an expansion pack. This is it. This is it right here. I'm sorry to those of you that love Lovestruck. No shade, although a little bit of shade, I guess. But put this next to Lovestruck. This has so much more stuff. And like we were talking about earlier in the world scores, all the stuff you do with the NPCs in the town, the quests, all that stuff as well. There has its own festivals that are integrated into the actual gameplay. So you have to do the growing of the giant crops to then enter the festivals that are in this pack. Like you can't just go to, you can go to the festival, but it's not, why would you go if you're not entering it? Like it's all like, it makes sense. It's all packaged together so nicely. This is gold standard expansion pack right here. This is it. This is it. This is it. Cottage Living. Let's do more of that. Anyway, let's move on to the the wrap-up. So here we are, expansions rated by score. So we're going to see the overall list. Pause if you want to just check out the list and see all the information. Otherwise, let's have a look at some interesting facts. Let's have a look at some of the changes from last year. So first up, For Rent and Lovestruck are new in this year's survey. They weren't in the previous one. I think For Rent had released at that time. Oh wait, maybe it hadn't. It was either hadn't released or was just about to. It was very close. Anyway, For Rent coming in at number 15, of course, heavily impacted by the bug score. If that bug score was down to like 1 or 2, this would climb quite a few points up. And interestingly, High School Years has dropped 6 places, which is massive. Again, due to that bug score being implemented this year, that 4.3, if they work on the bugs, it will definitely climb back up again. Interestingly, Get Together has actually gone up a little bit, I think because of these other packs dropping dropping below it a bit. Lovestruck is pretty strong showing this year at number 8, the brand new one of course. City Living's climbed a little bit too, I think, because again, the world score this year does not impact our overall scores nearly as much. And if we have a look at here, this is our change in overall scores from last year. Actually, you can see all of them have dropped a little bit. But again, that's mostly because I changed the way worlds and the bug scores, these 2 scores here, impact our overall score a little bit differently this year. So that's why we're seeing that change. Come next year, we'll probably see a little bit more consistency, a little bit of ups and downs. Moving on to the order by gameplay, you can see here, feel free to pause on any of these if you want to see the list. Moving on, we have expansions by build mode, which ones have the best build mode, which ones have the worst. Of course, we have also the creator sim here, if you're interested in. And lastly, the buggiest expansion packs. Number 1, For Rent. Most expansion packs pretty good actually. Most of them are pretty good. Like I said, anything around like 2 or lower is like, it's not really buggy. I think 2 to 3 is, again, there's a few things that are kind of annoying. 3 to 4, there's a few more annoying things. And then 6, these are just buggy. I mean, High School Years is not that bad. There are annoying things in it though, like I mentioned, that prom thing. For Rent is a nightmare. I honestly think it should be rated higher than that, but maybe that's just my personal experience. Now, just before we head off, we're gonna have a look at the overall ranking of every single DLC put together in one big list. Of course, it's a little weird to have the kits in the same list because we did rate those differently. Kits are only rated 0 to 10 and they don't have a bug score. So they do kind of skew a little higher, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have put kits in the same overall list that we're about to see. So just keep that in mind. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. So this is all DLC by the percentage of owners. This is just how many people own the pack. So the least owned pack, the least number of people have Modern Menswear kit. Only 19% of the people surveyed said they have this kit. Conversely, the most owned pack, according to our survey, is Seasons at 94.3%. Like, that's massive. Almost everyone that took this survey has Seasons. So yeah, if you want to pause, you can check out this list. Otherwise, let's move on. Our next list is all of them by score. Like I said, it is a bit weird. And I think next year I'm going to not have kits in this list because we're getting like 8 kits a year. So it's going to get even bigger. But I think next year I'll take them out. Just because, as you can see, if we go down the list here, the number 1 rated DLC overall is Book Nook kit, which is kind of weird, which I guess, yes, technically it is at an 8.7, but like a kit next to an expansion, like these are very different. And you know, this is a $5 kit with a couple of items. This is a fully fledged expansion pack, which is like a whole nother level. So anyway, take this list as a grain of salt. It's not really anything that important, other than it's just interesting to see everything in one big list. It doesn't, it's a bit weird seeing it like this. And with that, that's all the packs rated. Thank you so much for taking part in this year's survey. I haven't had time to prepare the page on my website with the information that you can just click and go view. That'll come at a later date. I'll do a community post when that's up. Otherwise, it will be linked in the description if you're watching this in the future and you just want to see the information. I do have all of the raw data and results of the survey. So those of you that are data analysts or just data nerds and want to have a look at the actual numbers yourself and do your own calculations with it, that is linked down below to download. It's like 45 megabytes. There's like 1.4 million lines of ratings, so have fun with that. I know I did. It took me a long time to get it all up and running and working properly. But thank you so much for taking part in the 2024 Sims 4 DLC survey. I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next time and have an awesome day.